Is the issue here about that one tweet about 500,000 sales in 2019, or about the deal Elon Musk had struck with the SEC already? What's the key factor?
The reality is it's about all of those things. And so fundamentally, the SEC is tasked with enforcing a level playing field in the United States, Regulation FD, full fair disclosure. And so in October of 2018, when they settled with the SEC and the court entered an order against Tesla and Musk, they agreed to adopt policies for communications by executives. Fundamentally, those policies required a review in advance of communications with the public that could or reasonably could contain material information regarding the company. In December of 2018, Tesla adopted those policies for communications, in which those policies exactly state what I just said, with some caveats. They highlight certain subjects that may be deemed to be material, depending on the significance of the information. And that was specific to the production progress or delays, sales or delivery of numbers or other major business developments. So they have a policy in place that highlights that the subject matter to which he tweeted may be deemed to be a material subject. So that's that tweet. Then beyond that, they're going to look at all the communications he's had tweeting, whether any of them have been looked at for pre-clearance, to determine whether there is a pattern in which he hadn't done it, and this just happened to be the most egregious communication. 3, he violated potentially a court order. 4, he's also been antagonizing the government with his communications with regard to 60 Minutes and other follow-on tweets. But first and foremost, it's the policy that which they've chosen to adopt, and then following and adhering to the policy that they themselves created and adopted.
Well, antagonizing the government might not be wise, but it's certainly not a crime. And on the other hand, you know, what about all publicity?
I'm not suggesting it was a crime.
Right. Tesla has been in the news. I got that. Tesla's been in the news almost every day. I mean, when we're looking at, Stephen, what the possible upside is of this kind of behavior from the CEO and founder of this company, I mean, is he keeping the Tesla name in the spotlight?
To the contrary. I think that this is something that is contrary to the interests of the company. I think the company would best be served by going forward with its business, not having to deal with derivative lawsuits, not having to deal with fighting the SEC. I think that his actions...
Well, then why isn't the board taking action?
The answer is we don't know everything that's going on. I suspect, although I don't, if I were one of Tesla's lawyers, I'd be telling him, please watch the tweets, hold your fingers, let's be cautious, double check before you send out things. On the other hand, I think he's a hard person to control.
Stephen, bottom line, do you think Elon... Sorry, hold on 1 second, Ron. Stephen, do you think...
Sure.
Do you expect to see significant punishment from the SEC on Musk?
The answer is I think that he violated the court order. There'll have to be a hearing to determine intent. Was this material, or would a reasonable investor view it as being material? I think at the end of the day, this is the first step in a series of actions by the SEC to rein him in. I would venture a guess that if the court finds that he knowingly violated the order and that this was material, as I believe it was, that there'll be a slap on the wrist, and there'll then be, further emails and watching him, and I think they're looking at a long-term game plan.
Ron, your own take on whether this ends up in punishment?
I expect it'll end up in punishment, but 2 more facts that are relevant to why this is negative, or there was potentially a greater preponderance or likelihood of an action being taken, is the general counsel resigned the day after the tweets. And 2, the second tweet that was designed or sent out to correct the initial tweet was vetted by securities counsel, which then begs the question why the initial one was not. With regard to the penalties, the judge has broad discretion, and the judge has to balance out either sending a message or exacting the penalty versus harming the company. And where the middle is, we don't know. It could be, I expect it's going to be a monetary fine. I don't expect it will be more, but there's still not enough information that we have that's publicly available. The SEC has provided requests to both Tesla and to Musk for information gathering purposes. And so we don't know how deep this might go.